News, sports, entertainment, top 100 music on your Remedy radio dial. Solutions 93.9.
Do not touch that dial.
Get ready to supercharge your life as we dive deep into the latest trends in health, expert insights, and practical tips to help you live your healthiest and happiest life. Catch the rhythm of wellness with Vic Riches on Solutions Clinic every Monday from 10:15 a.m. to 11 a.m. on Solutions 93.9 as we journey into the world of nutrition, fitness, mental health, and other holistic approaches in the world of health. Don't miss out on the valuable information that can transform your well-being, because a healthy life is your ticket to a wealthy life.
I did count my blessings, I did count my blessings, I did count. It's plenty, no be mouth. Hello, my brother. I know the butter. God did it for me, and He will do it for you one way or another. I know they worry, 'cause I know He got me. He done make me dance, He break it dance. He done make me want to clap my hands. He done make me want to turn around. He done make me shout hallelujah. He done make me dance, He break it dance. He done make me want to clap my hands. He done make me want to turn around and shout hallelujah as I did dance. Now blessings I did count, my blessings I did count. It's plenty, no be mouth, no joju more I did count. My blessings I did count, you know she say I did bounce. It's plenty, no be mouth. And we know me don't see the money coming on a daily. You know what they craving? Them a loving JD. From your human power, them the beg for Jada. No, yeah, they gotta. He done make me dance, He break it dance. He done make me want to clap my hands. He done make me want to turn around. He done make me shout hallelujah. He done make me dance, He break it dance. He done make me want to clap my hands. He done make me want to turn around and shout hallelujah as I did dance. Now blessings I did count, my blessings I did count. It's plenty, no be mouth, no joju more I did count. My blessings I did count, you know she say I did bounce. It's plenty, no be mouth. He done make me dance, He break it dance. He done make me want to clap my hand. He done make me want to turn around. He done make me shout hallelujah. He done make me dance, He break it dance. He done make me want to clap my hand. He done make me want to turn around and shout hallelujah.
Johnny Drill with the song Count My Blessings. It's almost a new month, so it's an opportunity to look back and introspect and be thankful for all the blessings you've received in the month of July as we look forward to marching into August. Exactly 33 minutes gone past the hour of 10, and it's about time we talk about everything and anything health. Welcome to Solutions Clinic. My name is Vic Riches. Good morning to you. Alright, hope you had a wonderful weekend, and I hope that you've continually made your health a priority. Like I always say, a healthy life is your ticket to a wealthy life. This morning, we're going to be talking about family planning on Solutions Clinic. By the way, we're streaming live on Facebook as well as YouTube at Solutions 939 FM. So do well to be a part of the conversation by joining in, liking, commenting, and asking questions if you do have via the social media comment box. inbox or sending them via the WhatsApp line or regular text line to 0904 422 2939 as we kickstart the conversation on family planning. Family planning is a critical aspect of reproductive health and social well-being. It encompasses a wide range of methods and practices that enables individuals and couples to make informed choices about when and how to have children. This proactive approach to family and population management plays a pivotal role in promoting the health, economic stability, and the overall quality of life for the individual, families, and communities involved. Today, we will explore the significance, methods, and societal implications of family planning, shedding light on its multifaceted importance in this modern world. Joining me for this conversation this morning is Dr. Chukwuma Okoli. Good morning to you, Doc. It's great to have you join us.
Thank you. Good morning.
How's your trip to France? I'm sure you would wonder why I asked the question. If you look at him, this one is looking like he's not from this country.
I understand. It's okay.
Well, you look great, by the way.
Thank you.
So let's start the conversation with, of course, this is a very broad, it's not something we can capture in an hour, but, we'll try to cover as much areas as possible this morning. So I think the first place to start is, should a family actually plan to have children?
Thank you very much. Now, family planning has an euphemism, a synonym, which is contraception.
Okay.
So that is also captured in this discussion. So in answering your question, it is the desire and decision of the people involved. Now, if you say family, I would say not just family. How about single people? Because
single
they are
people-
also captured in the discussion.
Absolutely.
So, if a single person decides, I don't want to have kids, he or she can do a family planning and say, oh, I don't want to have kids.
That's part of family planning,
It's also part of
deciding
it.
not to have children.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
So, it is the decision of the people concerned. If now we have a couple, they can decide, for example, I met a young couple who said they want to chase career, they wanted to relocate, and they had to do contraception. So when the relocation was not coming forth for financial reasons, they now decided to have babies. So eventually they have had two now. So at the initial time when they got married, everybody was beginning to panic. The parents would send them to me. And by the time the door is closed, they would be like, Doctor, don't mind them. We are not ready. And then the mom will be calling on phone. I don't know what is going on. I don't know what is going on. But both of them decided, and the woman did a contraception because they wanted to relocate. But when funds were not forthcoming, they decided to remove the contraception, and then she's had two kids now. So it is the decision of the people involved, whether married or not. If they want to have children, fine. If they don't want, family planning is an option.
Fair enough. So now that you've established that this involves both, single and married, because more often than not, we're very focused on, the married people as it regards to family planning. It brings me to the question of involvement, especially when there are two parties involved in the question, because I've heard stories where even as a single person you decide that you want to have kids,
Yes.
whereas the person you're involved with is not considering having kids at all.
Yes.
Even in marriages, you find that some women decide to take contraceptives without informing their
Their partner,
husband,
yes.
right, about that. Is that something that is advised?
Okay, thank you. Like you rightly said when you started, it's a very broad topic, so we'll just do as much as we can. Now, if you guys are a couple, you should do your things together. And if a party is not carried along, that party has a right to protest and take measures against the other party. How about the part of when the woman wants a baby and the man doesn't? I had a man say in Yoruba language, "Shebina, you want pikin." Like they gave birth to a girl, and the girl is so strong, so active, running everywhere. And then when it's time, the man was like, "Go and sort her out, too. No, be you want pikin."
So it's your child.
So, once you guys are a couple, you are either living together or married legally or cohabiting, and you both decide to bring forth, there is no legal ruling for now for or against such
Decision.
exactly. So you decide to bring forth kids, it's fine. You decide not to have kids, it's fine. Just make sure whatever you do, you are okay together with it. Now, in a case where a lady wants a child and then decides to probably approach her male friends rather, and then decides to get laid and takes in and out baby. If she decides she wants to handle it all by herself, good for her. Many times, a lot of women now currently are nursing children that the so-called partner doesn't even know they had children from
Right.
these people. It's just that the bad part is that they intend to use that as a weapon in the nearest future, and that's where the law frowns at things like that. If you're in such a situation, you need to let that person know so that proper things can be done. Otherwise, you may not have a chance. There are a lot of legal battles for and against it as at now, and I tell you, it's not a way to go because in Nigeria, it will delay the longest time possible, and at the end of the day, you may not get what you desired out of it.
Fair enough. So I saw a video. I'm trying to see if I can get the video of a doctor who was on a blog recently, and he was fuming and very, agitated about how the society that we live in these days, you find that most family do not consider family planning because you give birth to a lot of children, and at the end of the day, you can't cater for their needs.
Yes.
There was a man who, he had 2 children already, and they were expecting. And fortunately, because children are a blessing, whether we like it or not.
Yes.
Fortunately, the wife had 4, and he was on WhatsApp. He was just crying, oh God, he has spent this social amount on diapers and pampers and whatnot. He was just, expressing himself, and his friend, screenshot the message and posted it on Twitter. He was fortunate enough that before 24 hours, Nigerians were able to raise over 12 million naira for the man on Twitter. Yes. Because they could understand his pain. He wasn't prepared for, maybe he was expecting 1 and 4 came at once. And they could imagine him spending a lot of money on diapers, and they raised the money for him. But that's 1 out of 100.
Yes.
Not a lot of people will have such opportunities.
No.
And, but then you can't control the number of children that you put into a woman.
You can't. It's based on the number of eggs available for fertilization. And if all of them decide to implant and then grow, that's all. You're having multiple gestation. It's fine.
So I guess that my question is, in this regard, what are then the benefits of family planning?
Thank you very much. Now, if you look at it, let's pick it from the parties involved. The woman, the babies, the pause, and the family. Okay, so the benefit for the woman is that it reduces sickness, because we know that multiple pregnancies can bring sickness. I have seen women who had kidney failure from getting pregnant. I've seen heart failure from getting pregnant. I've seen some other dangerous ailments. In fact, I have heard and seen people who lost their lives and they couldn't even carry it. In fact, they died before they could get to term. There was this friend of mine, a nurse, and she had what is called dilated cardiomyopathy. And unfortunately, she was counseled against getting pregnant. Well, you see this thing about us in Nigeria, we don't pay attention to doctors. I'll say this again. You can come fight me. Nigerians don't listen to doctors. And it's bad for you all. The day you start learning to listen to us, the better for you. She was counseled. As a matter of fact, I lent my voice. Because she told me, and I told her, I stand with the decision the doctors gave you. I'm your friend. You may not listen to me, but listen to them. You shouldn't get pregnant. I was talking to a made-up mind. And then she got pregnant and still came to tell me she's pregnant. I was like, okay, congratulations. Just keep going for your antenatal, and that is it. Shortly after then, I relocated from that town to another town to continue my medical pursuit. And boom, the next thing I heard of, she's dead at 5 months. The heart just failed overnight. She was rushed to the emergency. Before anything was done, she was dead. She already had a sign. Dilated cardiomyopathy means that the heart is unduly expanded and enlarged and weak and can't contract. Even people that are well, nothing do them before. They even get heart failure, say, when they get belly. Not talk of person where the heart don't they feel. Now decided to go and get pregnant. She laid her 6 feet bare, and she died. I've seen others too. I've heard of others. So this is it. When you do family planning, you reduce the risk of illness for the mother. 1. 2, when you do family planning, you space out and you allow the family to recover in between. I have some good friends, very close friend of mine, who had 2 babies back to back. It was financially tough. I don't even know if they've recovered now, because both babies were delivered via a surgery.
I don't think people know that having babies are expensive. I
think they
that
know now.
because
I think they now know. Let's use the word. They now know.
okay.
They now know. I mean, an issue happened yesterday, and it was so sad. You know, a baby was referred, and by the time they came in, the baby was dead already. And I was so sad. I was looking at the man carrying the baby. It's just unbelievable that that's happened. I felt so terrible about it. I wish something different could have happened. At that point, I looked at the man, and I'm like, what is your gain in all this? Too bad. See, when you space the childbearing period, you help the family to recover financially in between the events. 1. 2, you help the family to prepare, because if you ask, even if they delivered by themselves, not necessarily through a surgery or anything. Now, come out there, tell me you had a baby 2022, you had 2023, and you've had another one 2024. I'll clap for you. But one question I ask you is, how much did you pay in 2022? Like, calculate the whole thing last year and then this year, and you tell
Do
me
the
you
cost
paid
estimate.
exactly. Tell me you paid the same amount. I don't think that is true. I don't think that is true. So that is it. Now, number 2, you help the babies too. When you space them out, you take care of them. I've seen babies develop what is called failure to thrive because their mothers got pregnant quite faster, so they couldn't finish their
Pay
breastfeeding
attention.
breastfeeding duration, and then they start having protein energy malnutrition. So when you space out, you allow those babies to grow, and that's why you see, fine. Well, at this juncture, it's not necessary that you breastfeed. Like, it's not really about breastfeeding, but the attention you give, because when you're pregnant, something else is disturbing you, and then the child comes. That's at that moment you see that child as, I need rest. Please help me, Debbie. Help me to take this child away. That child has gotten used to you, your arms, your warmth, and then somebody else has to carry the child, and then the child goes from a happy child to a withdrawn child. Before you know it, you have a problem on your hands. Now, when you make sure that this child is now independent of you, at that point, you can now take in again for another. And when the child now sees you doing like you're pregnant or something, whoever come and say, Mommy, my baby. Some babies do like that because they already have idea of what's going on. They start rubbing on your tummy, and then when the baby comes, they will dot over the baby. They themselves are getting to a point where they are ready for one.
Excited
Not
to
the one that
receive,
is just barely
yes.
1 year and another one don't day inside again. So when you plan properly, you give rise to babies that are well nurtured. Note, it is not just about breastfeeding, but the care, the love, the affection. It's important because babies get attracted. I know a very close friend of mine who the son was not allowing anybody to touch him until he was beyond 2 years of age. It was just this woman.
I know a baby like
Nobody
that.
else. Not even grandma. Until he was beyond. In fact, the first day he came to me to hug me, I almost shed tears that day. Like, I've always been seeing him and he won't come near me. If you're telling him, see, greet doctor, he won't answer me. Until when one day he just came and then said, he just threw his hands open. And I was looking at him like, I thought he wanted to say something. And the mom said he wants a hug. In fact, I quickly grabbed him. I was so happy. So this is it. It took that child that long to get past that point. So when you do your proper family planning, you give rise to healthy mother, you give rise to healthy babies, you give rise to healthy pocket as well. Let me stop there. There are many others, but let me stop there.
So I've heard some myth about closely gapped pregnancies, and one of which I had an auntie who had a baby back to back. One was 97, the other was 98. So in her defense, when we were growing up, there was an argument, and people asked her, why didn't you give a lot of gap between me and my elder brother? That's my cousin asking. And she said, so she waited for 5 years before getting pregnant. So immediately she had the first one. She wasn't giving any space for stories. So she just decided. So
in my head, I'm now thinking, you just mentioning, could it be a valid reason to? We understand that these things are medical, but
Yes. There are
again,
exceptions to the rule. There are exceptions to the rule. I have a very close family member too, who, in fact, the age of my parents and these people are almost the same, and then their first child is younger than our last born.
wow.
You get that analogy. So when the first child of this particular family that is very close to us is younger than our own last born, then you can imagine how long they had to wait. So definitely what you expect, children will come in back to back. So there was exception to the rule.
Fair enough. All right, let's talk about, the different methods to family planning.
All right. Now, before we move into that different methods, I also want us to know that family planning discussion includes management of pelvic infections and sexually transmitted ailments.
Okay.
Because these things can also occur even in the family setting. So if somebody is always prone to, for instance, we've seen women who are prone to sexually transmitted infections, and I don't want to go into what caused it or how it came about, but in such cases, you may have to discuss with their spouses. I think at this juncture, you may need to use some barrier. So when you use barrier, because the truth is, imagine after you're done with her now, in the next few weeks, she starts having pain and then turns up in the hospital, having pelvic infection, and then she's treated. And then you come again, and after coming, she gets down. And by the third time, somebody needs to say, hey, bro, I think there's something wrong with you. This woman is always coming down with STI. So let's treat you. And then while treating you, use barrier method. Don't do anything like you can do, but at least you're not releasing anything directly in contact with her so that she can heal up. So that's also included. Now, talking about the methods, we have let me start with the simplest ones. We have the oral method. Okay, let me start with the simplest one. We have the withdrawal method, which is what most people do. That's calendar method. Okay, that's another one, the calendar method. And that is when you are sure you know about your cycle. Someone will tell you, I know when I'm ovulating. In fact, they will tell you, I'm feeling like I will ovulate. In fact, by tomorrow, I should have ovulated.
Yeah.
So at that point, they are signaling to a guy, don't come near me, kind of, because of this season. And then they will count, and they are perfect with it. It works for them. So that is the calendar method. Now the withdrawal method, which is not safe.
Because even a drop can lead to a baby.
That's why I'm laughing. I've seen somebody who ejaculated outside, and the virgin got pregnant.
I don't know how, because I have heard that story
It
too.
happened. It happened in Ondo State. So it's more than 10 years ago.
Wow.
Yes, I was a doctor involved. So.
Oh wow! Because I've heard stories
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. So when the two of them came, the mother of the girl was like, he has gotten her pregnant, and then, they first had issues about, is she pregnant? Is she not pregnant?
Of course.
We did pregnancy test. It was positive. Then I did a scan. Pregnancy was 5 months.
Ah,
It
wow!
was 5 months. So I know
It wasn't showing at the time.
it wasn't showing.
Wow. that's
And I
crazy.
asked the lady, like, how many people? She said, no, he's the only one. But then the man kept saying, he did not enter. He did not enter. He just plays around and then releases. And then, when he saw that the scan was there, he saw the baby, saw everything. He said, well, that actually there is no other person who he has. Like, this is the only person. But the girl keeps refusing him and all that. Okay. At the end of the day, they both agreed. Okay, you have impregnated her. Oh yeah, cuckoo, go and finish up
That's
the work.
crazy.
And then I just chipped in something too, because I actually had to get 2 other doctors to be involved. So we chipped in something, that is, the going is good now. What if tomorrow he feels otherwise? Do a DNA.
Right.
Yeah.
Of
The
course.
going is good now. You guys are cool now. But what if he talks to a friend of his and says, no, don't let them push stuff to you. Don't trust all this. Do a DNA. And that is it. And what DNA are you doing? Take the baby's sample. Take the man's sample. Simple. Cross-match. Most often, always, if he's the one, it will be 100%, and then there's no story. So we've talked about the calendar method. We've talked about the barrier. We've talked about the withdrawal method.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have the barrier methods. That's a condom, male, female condom. We have the tampons and all that. Then we have the tablets. We have the injectable. We have the implant. And then we have the intrauterine device that is pushed into the uterus. So those are the types available.
Now, so it's been argued that, these methods are peculiar to individuals.
Yes.
There are methods that will work for Mr. A and will work for Mr.
Yes,
B.
yes, it's true.
How so?
That's why we have family planning specialists in hospitals where family planning is a discussion. You don't just go there and say, I want to do family planning, and they'll be like, oh, yeah, come and sit down. You are going to do this. It's not right. If you are involved in it, distance from that. It's not right for you to, someone comes in and then you say, sit down, I'm giving you tablets. No, hold the discussion with this. There are trained people, doctors, nurses, and all that, who are involved in administering this. So if it's a first-time mom, you want to, first of all, do a pregnancy test to be sure she's not pregnant at the moment. And if she's not pregnant at the moment, then you discuss things ranging from her menstrual cycle to does she know much about the period when she got pregnant. Then you consider her weight, consider her blood pressure, and then consider the duration with which she wants to wait. And then consider also what's her sexual exposure like. Somebody whose husband is not in town, you may not bother. But if the person knows he has one or two people that they do stuff together, you can now counsel. Some people will tell you, okay, I don't really have sex. Maybe it's once or twice in 6 months. And you can then in that case, you might just use a post-exposure pill. Excuse me. So these are the things you consider in holding such family planning discussion. That's why it's a discussion, not you want to do it, you are doing this. You discuss. Okay.
So you can't sell, like, for contraceptives, you don't need to go to the hospital for that.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's an hospital discussion holding in the hospital with the experts.
Contraceptive falls under condom too, yes?
A condom is, of course, a barrier method.
A barrier method.
Yes.
So I'm saying for things like condom,
Okay.
you don't need to.
No, that
go
one
to
you don't
the-
need to- you don't need
can,
to.
But that's you doing yourself.
Exactly.
Family planning.
Yes, that's why I said we're talking from the family front now.
Okay.
So from the family front, you have to consider all those discussions. Even we've seen people that, having considered all this, we still recommended condom for them because that was what was safe. And some men will be like, they don't mind. Okay, if you don't mind, fine, do it. Some women would say, they tried it once, their period ran away, and then they had to go look for it for almost 6 months, going up and down, paying money to buy the period back, and finally they bought it. And those are not the kind of people that you want to tell them to do family planning again because of
Absolutely.
previous history. So it's a discussion. That's actually what I'm trying to state, that fine, as a single person, you can decide to use condom, fine. Or you tell your boyfriend, use condom, fine. That's for you guys. But looking from the family front now, when we have, for instance, how about a woman who in an index pregnancy, BP becomes 190/100, and then during labor, BP crosses 200, 230, and she ended up with a cesarean section, and because she had a prolonged obstructed labor, it took a long while before the wound healed with scars and all that, wound breakdown, dressing. She went through this whole show. And up to 4 months after delivery, she was still pacing in and out of hospital for one thing or the other. And then you now tell that person, oh yeah, babe, come, let's do now. In fact, just say, babe, she's out of the door. She doesn't even know what you want to ask her.
Right.
She's already on the way out. So you need to hold a discussion. And then, men, don't make this mistake because you are the one paying the bills means you own her. You do not own her. She's not your material or your toy. She's your partner. Okay? You're paying the bills because that's what the culture around here says. Doesn't mean that it's because you're paying it, I have a say. You have no jack of a say. I was just telling my PA before we came in about what is called consensual sexual intercourse and non-consensual sexual intercourse. Let's not go into that. But then, this happens in marriage. When you suddenly wake up and you feel like, well, my friend, come here. And then you want to have your way. Most times, the women will be like, do what you want to do. But it's not right. And that's why you see people going
It's actually rape. Let's call it what
it
is.
is.
It's rape.
It is. Rape in marriage. And at the end of the day, you see such women going to do contraception without their husband's consent because he constantly rapes them. So it's a broad topic that we can just pick, like butter on top of the bread.
Subsections and
all
just
that.
focus on that.
Yes.
Interestingly, we're talking about family planning this morning on Solutions Clinic right here on the Remedy Dial Solutions 93.9 FM. So if you do have a question, I can see that some questions are already coming in. Please do well to send it via the number 0904 422 2939. 0904 422 2939. You can also use that number to call into the studio if you'd like to do so. So there's been a lot of withdrawal from women as it concerns family planning because it's been said that it has
Side effects.
exactly on them.
That's why it's a discussion. So you discuss about the side effects that exist. For instance, let me pick one. The injectable. Some people would have it and period runs away and they start looking for period up and down. And some other persons will tell you what, my period comes regularly. In fact, my injection is due in the next 2 days. Some would even say, come, let's go. They will follow themselves, go see. And they will inject, but they will like, so what's my problem? I took mine for like a year now. Period has refused to come, and yet pregnancy is not staying. And they've been having unprotected sex, and yet they're not pregnant. You see that? There are exceptions, and those are extremes. So you have to discuss. Now, so for women who are just, imagine for someone who had a delay of 5 years, now has a baby, and now had this difficult situation I painted the other time, and then comes to you and says, I want a family plan, And you're like, how old are you? I'm 35. You are 35.
I want to do
Wait, now, how many babies have you had? One. And then you're like, I went through a lot. At that point, you say, okay, no problem. Call your husband. It's a discussion. And then you can now bring up the topic and let them discuss it right there in front of you. And then you advise them. Okay, madam, you know what? Let us give you a year to heal up. Now, looking at it, by a year, you'll be 36. Okay, and then your baby will be 1 year. Then we can now say by so. But once we are sure you have healed up, then we can now say, okay, can we give a year more so that you can now start trying? By then you'll be 37. Then you, at that point, you also let them know their chances of delivery, the number of kids they can have, the timing that is involved, the spacing and intervals within it, and then the route of pregnancy. If this is someone who has probably or had obstructed labor, had a probably android pelvis, that is a masculine pelvis that could not allow the baby to pass through. In a situation like this, you know that it might be a cesarean section again. So at that point, you prepare their mind and then let them forecast. Maybe by the time you have your second baby, you'll be like 39. Okay, we might now try if God, and that's for an understanding man, because most Nigerian men are not understanding. Let's call a spade a spade. They just want things done their way, and it shouldn't be. It's a discussion. So when you discuss it properly, you will take what is safe. And that's why you see a lot of women are not doing, coming back to what you said, are not doing contraception because of side effects. They rather go for calendar and withdrawal method or post-pill, because they feel like that leaves them. Yes, of a truth, some people undergo family planning and it changes them completely. The moment they start taking these things, they start growing big. The tummy starts growing so big. Some will have periods that are so heavy. So many things are involved. So when you've tried that, though it's not common, but we've seen quite a number of cases. So in such situation, you may need to now advise them professionally. Either you tell them, okay, you know what, go for this bar. And at that point, let the husband be aware. Because you are telling the woman barrier method, and that's the only thing that you can use, and the husband is not available. And he comes and says, what is this? And imagine, you come on now, and somebody is showing you, like, are you okay? The next thing they start challenging you, you started messing up, Abi. You started going out. All because he wasn't part of that discussion. If he was part of it, he would be the one to go buy it, not you going to buy it.
Absolutely.
And that is the issues that we have with family that people need to pay attention to. And that's why I celebrate men who, if you're listening to me and you follow your wife to antenatal, I celebrate you today. Because God will bless you. You are making life easy for that woman and for yourself. The moment you leave your women to go for antenatal and all these things alone, the information they're given to them, they can only give you less than half of it. So when you are there, you are part of the discussion. It is better. So you can take proper decisions together that will benefit the whole family. Have wholesome children. You have your wife that you will enjoy when all those children are gone with their career and their life. You will have your wife still looking babe. And then you can enjoy together. Not that in the process of trying to do it your way and have kids, she now falls ill and then you start nursing her and taking her to hospital. Some will even abandon the woman and have another woman.
It.
Come on.
That's it.
It's crazy, man.
She doesn't look like what you liked at the initial stage.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
And then it's not her fault. You were part of it.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about, some women thankfully, it's family planning is not exclusively for women
Oh, yes,
alone.
yes.
So women are now suggesting men should go for vasectomy. And you now see that men cannot be culturally in this part of the world. I don't know even as a doctor. I don't know as a doctor, a man has presented himself to you and said, Doc,
No.
I want to do
No
vasectomy.
man, no man has presented for vasectomy.
Well, but I mean, we're involved in this thing together. So why are men not proposing to do vasectomy? So let's get an understanding. Is it that once vasectomy is done, it cannot be reversed?
Yes, it can be reversed.
Ah, wala dear.
It's irreversible. That's the reason. That's the reason many people run away from it. It's irreversible.
Wow.
Yes. The only type that could be reversed is when it's a clip. If it's a clip, you just go remove the clips. Agreed. That one is a clip. You remove the clips. Once it's not a clip, and then it's commoner in the Western world.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons. In fact, I used to see court cases about paternal disputes and all that. And that's because of how much people there put pregnancies on men. So I remember the case that was in court and the man kept quiet. He withheld the vital information. And then the issue went on until DNA was done. He kept quiet. He didn't say a word. And after DNA came out, DNA proved that he wasn't the father. And then they asked the woman to talk, and she was forming, oh my God. She doesn't know what to do. She's confused right now. And then the man said, he had a vasectomy.
My goodness. My goodness.
I'm telling you. The man said he had a vasectomy done. So he was quite sure. In fact, he was very sure. And that he knows that it's because he was dating the lady, right? And then he let her know about his estates. I don't know what they call those names. The money, insurance and all those things. And boom, she came up with pregnancy. And, I was just stunned. My mouth was open until saliva dropped out of my mouth before I knew.
She just shot herself at the foot.
Kind of. So it's really a big discussion. We can't stop. We just keep touching them as it comes up.
Fair enough. Let's take a couple questions because I've received some this morning. And the first question here is from Yinka. He says, good morning to you, Doc. My question is regarding women condom.
Okay.
Does it actually work?
It does.
Because, okay.
Excuse me. It does work. It's contraception. It's barrier.
Is that I've not seen it. I don't even know if it exists. I don't
not
know.
Common.
It's not common.
It's not common. But it works. It works.
Okay.
Now another reason why there are men who will refuse to use. Okay. Now a man who refuses to use, men are always headstrong. I don't know why we stubborn like this. Versus a woman who says, "Well, me, I'm ready to do." Like Chinonzo will call it, I'm ready to do two with you. But don't come and carry nonsense and put in my body. Those are the women that will go for those female condoms. And just don't worry, just do your stuff. When you finish it two, she'll just go to one corner, remove the things and throw away. She doesn't want trouble. And contraception is not just about getting pregnant. I hope you know. Contraception is also about prevention of sexually transmitted infections.
Actually.
If I won't mention anything here, I'll mention AIDS. HIV and hepatitis B. Okay.
All right. Another message here says, good morning. This is Dotun. How many years is advisable for child spacing? As often as I hear when there is too much space between pregnancy, the woman is likely to feel more pain during labor. I don't know if that's the first question. Second one reads, what are the safest contraceptives for single females, as there are a lot of misconception about family planning for females who haven't given birth?
Okay. Let me get the first question.
Okay. How many years is advisable for child spacing?
Okay.
As often as I hear that when there is too much spacing between pregnancy, the woman is likely to feel more pain during labor.
True, yes. The feeling of the pain is not because she overspaced. The feeling of the pain can come from the size of the baby. If the baby is bigger, like if the first child was weighed at 3 kilograms, second child weighed in at 4 kilograms, what do you expect? That's a bigger baby coming. And guess what? The passage is the same. The passage did not change. So the pain will be more. So it's not because of the spacing. Now, looking at the spacing, considering the baby, you should give a spacing of 2 years so that you can wean the child and then have an independent child of you. A child you can comfortably say, hey, get up, we're going to school. And the child understands school. And then you can now get pregnant. The child comes home and comes to you, lays hand on your tummy or lays head on your tummy. You know that you've weaned the child. So from 2 years and above is ideal. Now, so I've talked about the pain part of when you space the child. It's not because you spaced too much that the woman is having pain during labor. It could be the baby is bigger. Now, some other people, their bodies go back to what the pre-pregnancy state was. We've seen women who will tell you with their mouth that they have kids, like they don't look it. They look like, yeah, exactly.
Yes.
They don't look it. But with their mouth, they'll be telling you, I have kids. All right. So there are some people, when they deliver, their body goes back. But the truth is that once they get pregnant, the release of the pregnancy hormones, estrogen, progesterone, and co, softens the body and then creates the space again. So it varies from person to person, not because they waited for too long.
Okay. So the second one is about the safest contraceptives for singles.
Okay, good. Well, they are all safe. It all depends on which one works better. Some people go for post pills. Some go for the OCPs they take every day. Okay, yes, and some decide to do the implants into under their skin. Okay, so it depends. It depends on what the body is safe for, the good for the body. Now, for people who have heavy periods, we know that injectables either causes excessive flow or even stops the flow at all. So I may rather say maybe you should try out the implants or you go for the tablets.
Okay. This is a message from Shola. Good morning to you, Doc. Very interesting topic today on Solutions Clinic. My question is regarding failed family planning. My wife has tried it twice and she still got pregnant. I don't know if we're not doing right or we are not using the right family planning method.
Okay.
Or does family planning fail?
It does. Hi, sir. Thank you very much for the question. Well, the good thing is your wife is very fertile, and then
That's on a lighter note.
Yeah, your wife is very fertile, and you are also point and kill, so that's good. So at the end of the day, I would rather say go for barrier method. Yes, you may have tried the maybe IUCD. I've seen a child coming out with the IUCD at hand. One had the IUCD. Yes. One was holding it. The other one had it behind.
My goodness.
Yes. So I've seen situations like that. So possibly it failed because the body system did not recognize it. Yes. So in that case, the barrier method is better. Just stop that sperm from going in. Caskia.
Fair enough. This one is from Fumi. Good morning, Doc. My question is regarding the side effects. Once you start noticing it, what do you do? Is there a way to remedy the situation?
Yes. You know, I talked about the side effects. Yes, at that point, you go back to your family planning specialist who you both have a discussion and preferably go with your partner. Unless you're a single person doing it. But the most important thing is they discuss with you at that point. If you are on injectable and then you're noticing side effects, you switch to another one immediately, so that because there are conditions that come together with these side effects that are not too nice. People who add so much weight, okay, they could have even dyslipidemias. A lot of things are involved in it. So it's best that you go back and let them take that family planning out and then give you what is safest. Like we said, the barrier method still remains if there's something called most harmless one, it's barrier. Nothing goes in, so it's cuckoo better. That is it.
All right. This one is quite funny. Good morning. Good morning, Doc. I like how you always praise men who are doing it right. I want you to also use that opportunity to advocate for vasectomy for men.
Hey.
Men also deserve to be a part of the family planning situation in their families. Women go through a lot and men don't even do anything. So please, Doc, advise men. They should also come for vasectomy. That way we can help protect the economy of the family.
Hello, ma. Thank you, ma. Vasectomy is irreversible. Oh,
my God.
It's irreversible.
I mean, look at that situation of that man. He has done it. This one is even he intentionally did it for himself or to
Himself.
protect himself.
Yes.
In a case where you assume that you have children already and the children are not yours and you've done vasectomy because you're trying to do family planning.
Yes.
Now figure out after your DNA that the children are not yours.
Yes.
You just killed.
Yes, and in that case, that
it's
guy kept
crazy.
quiet because he wasn't even the one paying for the DNA, so he just kept mute. It was the court, it was this family court stuff. So it was court that paid for the DNA before he now let out the bomb. So, please, sir, ma, vasectomy is irreversible, and that's why we don't advocate it around here. Yes, yes. And then most of the ones, except you have a BTL, bilateral tubal ligation, that's the one that's irreversible for the women as well. So at the end of the day, I don't think we really need to go to those extremes. Now, we've seen cases of women doing BTL, bilateral tubal ligation. Yes, and that is for women that have had like 5 babies and had how do I put it? Had issues surrounding the pregnancy, as it were, and you have to do that for them to prolong their lives. Postpartum hemorrhage, uterine ectomy, and the blood is just pouring. You have to be extra careful in situations like that. You take such decision to save the life of the woman, because ignorance is still a problem in this country, and that's not because the knowledge is not available, but because the interest is not available. And so that's the problem we are having. We still need to bring family planning as a topic on the table involving the man and the woman.
Absolutely.
Unless you are just a single person wanting to do your stuff. If you are not a single person wanting to do your stuff, if you're a man and the woman, both of you should go for that discussion. It shouldn't be left for the woman at all. It's not right.
All right, another message here from Fatima says, "Good morning, Doc. Please remind me of the name of the disease of the woman you mentioned who died, who was instructed not to get pregnant."
Oh, dilated cardiomyopathy, DCM.
Okay. Are there other diseases like that a woman should be mindful of?
Yes, there are. There are diseases that puts the life of the woman in danger. Yes. Anything that has to do with the heart endangers the life of the woman. And then we've seen cases of people with end-stage kidney failures as well, liver failure. Situations like this, you counsel them against getting pregnant because you know that pregnancy at that point becomes a death sentence for them. There was a situation that I was involved directly in. That we didn't take out that womb was because we after 5 hours, 3 surgeons battling on a uterus for 5 hours. Why? Because it was her 3rd pregnancy. And we were not just comfortable to yank the womb out. So we were able to successfully, after applying B-Lynch, sutures and all that, we were able to control the bleeding, and then we finished up. Then we actually counseled her that we believe, because the truth is, not every woman will say, cut my womb off. Even if they're not having children with it, they just want that thing to be part of them. Like they want their whole body to be complete. I can't say if I don't need this finger, take it out. No, now leave my finger alone or my little toe. If I'm not using it, just leave it there for me. Even the appendix is not disturbing me. I can't say, I don't have appendicitis. I won't come to you now and say remove it because, no. So for that reason, we counseled her, but she got pregnant. And she ended up losing her life with it.
Wow.
Yeah, at 5 months, painfully. Very, very painfully. So we just have to hold, this discussion should be held with families. Family, I still insist, family. The man, the woman should hold that discussion. It's that important.
Finally, let's wrap this up with the economic implication of not having a family plan, especially in this economy that we live in. I know that we've touched, but people don't understand. Like I mentioned earlier, what you were saying, people now know that having children is expensive. But for those that don't know, they say, oh, it happened by accident. Let's try to inform them that this is not the right time to have accidents. This is the worst time to have accidental discharge at all. So,
yes, please, family planning is essential. Family planning is compulsory. Family planning is absolutely necessary. It will save you from giving birth to children you can't handle, you can't take care of. It will reduce the number of street children. Okay, it's unfortunate that it is quite the people who are struggling are the ones that will have children and
Honestly.
then they are roaming the streets.
Honestly.
I mean, would you be comfortable? Now, I had a situation of where a boy probably is a miscreant, stole, and they were about to do jungle justice. And the mom suddenly surfaced. And despite all her plea, right in front of her, they killed her son.
Wow.
But then you ask me out, say it's not the right thing to do. It's never the right thing to do. Jungle justice is never the right way to go. But then when you look at it too, if you take care of those kids properly, they won't have to be on the streets causing issues, causing mayhem. So family planning will also save you of paying unnecessarily. It will save your pocket, save your family. It will help you to have proper setting of the family, give rise to healthy children, and then at the end of the day, you will have money to take care of those kids. They're in long holidays now. You know what it means. Yes, you know what it means. More food, more everything. So if you do the family planning properly, then you will have peace and you will enjoy your life too. And then you can enjoy that woman. You can actually take her out again. And you guys reminiscence how you were courting and dating and how you were going to eat from one place to the other because you have planned and you have your kids and you are done. And both of you know you are done. And then you can just turn her up in the middle and say, babe, are you in for me? And then she's like, I'm available. Because you've done, yes, you've done planning. So there's nothing like, are you free? Check. You want to do something, you're asking her, check what?
My God.
When you're not at the checkpoint,
Right.
check. You have to be knocking, check, calendar, check. Are you free?
Are you free?
No! Do the family planning so that at any point it holds you. You just place a call, babe, where are you? I'm going nowhere. Jerusalem, meet me there. And then be like, okay. So once you guys have done what is right, you won't have problem.
My God. It's quite a conversation we've had this morning on family planning. Thank you, Dr. Chukwuma Okoli, for such great insight you've shared with us on family planning. I believe that everything that has been said this morning would be taken into cognizance, especially for couples and single folks. Like we said, it encompasses you being married, right? You can be single and decide to plan for yourself.
Yeah.
So please, let's take it into topmost priority as we go about our daily lives. Like I said, this is not the right time to have accidental discharge. Don't put yourself into trouble. Don't put yourself into trouble. Yeah, there's something we missed out on. It was abortion, because that's another
It's not-
resolve.
Yes,
Yeah.
abortion is not a part of family planning, please. It is not family planning. So don't get involved. Don't be caught. Abortion kills.
Yes, and it's not legally accepted in this part of the world, right? There's no advocacy for it as it is right now. So please, it's not part of what we're discussing or promoting right here on Solutions Clinic. Thank you so much for all the questions and thoughts and also being a part of the conversation. We'll be back next week, Monday, for yet another interesting subject in the world of health. Like I always say, a healthy life is your ticket to a wealthy life. Good morning to you. My name is Vic Riches.